um, Cheri Timko as she explains her topic.
Welcome to the virtual summit series for thriving couples. It is such a privilege for me to be here and talk with you today. I'm Cheri Timko. I'm going to talk about the one thing that will strengthen your relationship, even if you do everything else wrong. This comes out of my work as a couples relationship coach and a couples psychotherapist, and it's really powerful. It's such a privilege to share this with you. So I hope you'll just take the next few minutes and listen along. Now, what is that one thing? Seems like there's a lot of options that it could be, but what is that one thing that if you do it and you do it regularly, it will shift everything in your relationship? Well, let me tell you. You now don't cringe, don't turn away. It's appreciation. Now, why is this so powerful? Appreciation, telling your partner that you appreciate something that they've done, saying thank you, appreciation makes them feel seen and heard and like you are there with them. And being seen and heard is such a powerful thing. It helps build their relationship quickly, and it's an easy thing to do because it's just about paying attention and noticing. Um, so if you guys are feeling negative towards each other, if you start to add appreciation, it'll start to shift that. And it does it really fast, especially if you do it consistently. In fact, appreciation balances out the hard stuff. Our brains are kind of wired to look for the hard stuff, the stuff that's not resolved, the stuff that doesn't have closure. So it kind of screens out a lot of the good stuff that's going on. The power of appreciation is not that it sugarcoats the stuff that's not going well. It's not that it pushes aside or sweeps under the rug the parts of the relationship that need some work. Instead, it allows the bad stuff, the hard stuff to sit next to the good stuff. So it's like being more honest in your relationship. When you use appreciation, it's like you can see the whole picture, not just the parts that aren't going well. It's also free. Isn't that great to find a solution in your relationship that really is fast and doesn't cost a lot? So if you're going to do one thing in your relationship, it would be add appreciation. Now, what is a good appreciation? I talk to people all the time. They're like, "Oh, I say thank you. I say thank you all the time." I'm like, "That's great. How are you saying thank you?" Because being really good at appreciation is not saying thank you for dinner every night without fail. Now, I wouldn't suggest that you stop doing that if that's what you're doing, but I would say that you can do a much better job of showing appreciation. So let me give you some of the details about this. So good appreciation focuses on the details about things. It's not general. It's not how, thank you for dinner. It's thank you for this dinner, or thank you for how this dinner got here. And I'm going to go through a bunch of examples for you in just a minute so you can hear the difference between them. A good appreciation doesn't have qualifiers to it. A good appreciation doesn't say, well, I really liked it that one time when you did this, but what I'm really saying is I wish you did that all the time. It's instead saying, I appreciate this time when this happened. The other times, they're not really relevant. They're not really part of what you're trying to allude to. So appreciations, good appreciations are also timely. It is so amazing to do something and have your partner notice right away. Now, that being said, it's almost never too late to go back and say, you know, that really made a difference for me. I didn't mention it at the time, and I kind of wish I did, but maybe I didn't even realize how much I appreciated it until later. So I really appreciate that this happened, even if it was way in the past. Appreciation is most powerful when you use it around an area of conflict. This is like a level up appreciation skill. Saying thank you for dinner. That's like, I don't know, common courtesy or polite, saying, thank you for this dinner. Thank you for trying a new recipe. Thank you for the time that you spent in the kitchen. That's a level up. But the really powerful appreciation is when you can show appreciation around an area of conflict. And that is, we've argued over who's going to make dinner. I know that you didn't want to make dinner today. And I am going to appreciate the fact that you did that anyways. Or I'm going to appreciate that when you did that, you did a really good job at it. All right, so that is why to use appreciation, but I think it's really helpful when you can hear the examples because that's where you can really hear the difference between these different levels of using appreciation. So I've got some examples for you. I've used one of them and I'll just use it more clearly here. Thank you for making dinner. I think that's something that people get into the habit of saying, which is why I'm using it for this example, because I really want you to hear how you can use that in a much more powerful way. So, thank you for using dinner. Thank you for making dinner becomes thank you for trying new recipes. It keeps our dinners more interesting. Thank you for getting groceries. I know that making dinner is more than just preparing the food, it's also the planning and the gathering of all the stuff. Thank you for dinner. I love the taste of this. Um, and thank you for making dinner. I really appreciate your time in the kitchen. Now, if you can break down a general appreciation into many appreciations, then you're also not going to feel like you're just blindly saying the same thing. You've just fallen into a rut and you always say the same thing because you're going to be looking for new aspects of it to say thank you for. All right, so another example. Thank you for listening to me. That sounds like a pretty good appreciation, doesn't it? What if you bump that up and you say, thank you for caring about my perspective. Or thank you for helping me cope with this situation. Thank you for checking in with me about this issue. Thank you for giving me your full attention. Each of those is a different aspect of having a conversation with you and listening to you. These are also things that you can use if you've had conflict. You can still show appreciation to your partner for how they listen to you. You can show appreciation for the ways that they make you feel seen and heard. All right, so another example is thank you for going with me. A lot of times couples end up asking their partner to go and do something with them that they don't really want to do. And showing some appreciation around that can be really powerful. So some level ups are thank you for supporting me. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for holding my hand when you were near me. Thank you for warning me that this might be hard for you. Now, if you're the person who is attending, you can show appreciation. Even if you didn't want to be there, you can show appreciation in this level up sort of way. Like, um, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for including me in things that matter to you. Thank you for letting me be there for you when it was hard, when you were doing something hard. Um, thank you for thank you for giving me the opportunity to support you. There's lots of ways, whether you're on the side of asking someone to come with you, or you're on the side of going, but maybe not wanting to be there. And I have one more set of examples. And this might be when you guys are truly in conflict. There's still the option, the opportunity to show appreciation in those situations as well. So you might start with just that general, thank you for hearing me out. But if you want to level that up, the ways that you level that up might sound like, thank you for sharing your concerns and listening to mine. Thank you for challenging me to think differently about an issue. Thank you for helping me to think more comprehensively about this topic. Thank you for being willing to wrestle with me about hard things. Thank you for sticking with the conversation, even when I wasn't able to say exactly what I meant. So, these are really small things. They might even sound like they're not worth doing. It's really important that when you do them, you don't fall into a rut with them. But showing appreciation is something that you can do in any circumstance. I personally have never met a couple who didn't have something that they could find that they could appreciate in the other person. And again, this is not an excuse, and this does not dismiss them having having to work on the other things. So I'm so glad that you joined me. Again, I'm Cheri Timko. I am always interested in finding the smallest, shortest little change that you can make that when you're in a long term relationship, those changes add up to big changes in the trajectory of your relationship over time. So if that appeals to you, you also can find me at cheritimko.com. And I do have some free resources there and the links to my social media where you can have a lot more contact with me. Thank you so much for joining me today.